Is blogging dead? No, but it's changing. And that's what we're going to talk about today with our expert, Andy, who is the CEO of Bramework. And he's going to give us all the things we need to know about AI in the future and how it impacts you as a blogger. So the first question I have is, would you start a blog in 2024?
That's a real good question. Now, would I start a blog in 2024? So it really depends. If I wanted to start a blog because I have a product or service I was trying to sell, yes, I would start a blog as a way to market the blog. But if I wanted to, write a blog about, let's say, vacuum cleaner bags, and just have a niche blog about that specifically, I would start a blog only to make side hustle money, not to blog full time.
What do you mean by you would just start it as a side hustle and not to blog full time? Like, what does that look like?
Let's say, for example, like my monthly expenses as my bills are $5,000 a month, and I'm expecting that niche blog to be able to pay all my bills, and I live comfortably. Most likely in 2024 and beyond, that's not going to happen. But let's say, and I want to make a couple of $1,000s a month from my niche blog. That's possible. It may take some time. It may take like a few months or a couple. Well, and I won't say a few months. It'll take a couple of years. But to get extra money as a side hustle, it could work. But to do it full time, where I'm making 80% of my income from that niche blog, I would say in today's age, I would be cautious.
So you think there's no possibility for a blogger to make a full-time living through their website? Because I think this is where me and you differ, because I think that you can. It's just changing. I think that the world of blogging, as we did it as bloggers the traditional way, it's not going to be that way forever, like how we used to do it. I think today you have to use your blog as more of a marketing standpoint to further your brand or whatever product you may have. But I don't think blogging is dead in a sense. I think that we have to stop relying on search engines such as Google as much as we have done in the past, and start focusing on getting our search traffic from otherwhere, not even from like a search engine, but just from our own means, meaning we take the power as a blogger and figure out where our traffic is going to come from. So I know we have a lot of debates in the house because, he's, as you can see, he's very analytical. He's like black and white. And I'm like, well, if you do this, because I'm looking at it at the point where I can just go in heavy on Pinterest. I can go heavy on my email marketing, which we'll be talking about later in Bramework as far as how to make your email bring you consistent traffic. But I know from your standpoint, you're in a state of the AI community. So
right.
You're like, well.
So I would agree with you that, like today, as a blogger, I would call me personally, if my sister came to me and said, hey, because I want to start a blog, I'd be like, okay, yes, you can start a blog, but use it as a marketing channel. So if she wanted to create a product or anything, I would say, yes, start a blog to use that to promote it. I would diversify my traffic sources, where like 20% of my traffic comes from my blog or organic. I would say like 20% from Pinterest. I would say like 20% from paid ads, and another 20% from my email marketing, and the last 20% from YouTube, right? And again, like it's the blog, because prior to 2024, most bloggers, the majority of their income, 80% plus, would come from the organic traffic, and they would be selling other people's products. And by other people's products, I would say would be like the affiliate link that you have in your blogs, and also all the ads that's on your blogs is selling other people's products. But going forward, I would focus on you creating your own product or even service. I prefer a product, but if you don't have a product that people need, I would create a service and then use your blog to market that. And you can still make money from ads, but your revenue must come from your product and your service, and then your supplementary income would come from your ads or your affiliates. Where at this point you can be your own affiliate, where you have other bloggers promoting your product or service as well. And that's the way I would approach it. Is I would not approach it from the mindset as before, where all my revenue comes from ads and affiliates. It would come from my products, and then ads and affiliates would be like lower in the hierarchy?
Well, I think a lot of bloggers who are like in the intermediate stage, which kind of distinguishes you from beginner and from advanced, is the intermediate phase. You're mostly focusing on ad revenue to help, sustain your blog, and then you hope that that can help you create products to get to kind of like the pro level. But now, from my understanding of what you're saying, is that we will have to put the focus of blogging kind of not on the back burner, but we have to raise up the creating our own products, amplifying our brand more so than what we used to do with our blog posts. And that's me being like, I love blogging, so I just love it. And it's hard for me not to do it because I love writing. I love sharing my experiences with people in written form. But I do know that just because I love doing something doesn't mean that it's going to make me money. Right. So I have to be able to, okay, this is the portion of the day that I write blog posts to update. And then when I'm done with that portion of the day, I need to be working on creating products that will actually make me money, doing things that kind of increase my visibility online, increase my brand awareness. And that's probably my husband will probably say to me every time he walks in the office and I am updating a blog post. He looks at me, he just says, "You're updating a blog post again?" And I'm like, yeah. Because it's over 10 years of something I've been doing, and it's kind of been hard to just change all of a sudden. And no matter how much we want Google to magically turn that switch back on, I just don't think it's ever going to be the same. So I've been going through the stages of grief, and my husband has been supporting me. It's been rough because my blog was built out of passion. So to go through something that you put your blood, sweat, and tears in, for me, it's going on 12 years, and to have someone just try to take that away and just says you're not good enough on something that I built with my blood, sweat, and tears, that makes me very upset. It makes me angry, and it makes me sad. But it also tells me never depend on any kind of source like that to drive the majority of your traffic or your money to your business. And I thank my husband for just
so I
up
think,
and downs.
yeah, I think bloggers got to understand is that one, like Google or any other social media platform, they can't take away the skills you acquired. They can't take away you blogging. So you can blog.
They can or can't?
They can't, because that skill, like, you acquired it and it's there. That expertise you have is there. Yeah. So it can never be taken away. Now, what can be taken away, unfortunately, is the revenue and the organic traffic that you get from Google. And unfortunately, it is not you per se that's the problem, is that in the last 15 years, we've been programmed to automatically put search and Google together. So when people say, I want to find something, instead of saying search for it, which you could use Bing, DuckDuckGo, or whatever search engine, you always go to Google. And that's the issue right now. So you just got to understand that you can continue blogging. It's about what you love, your passion. Just know that going forward, the revenue may not be as much. So now you have to look at alternative sources of revenue.
Yes.
And if you've been blogging for 10, 15 years, I would hope that you have an audience, and your audience would be people in your groups that you've created, your email list, and this is where you can reach out to those folks and ask them, hey, what problem do you have that I can help solve? And again, that problem could be a product, it could be a service, it could be creating content on YouTube, other channels, but find out what problems people have, and then from that point, you move forward from that point.
Absolutely. All right, so now this next question may hit home or be a little personal, but a lot of bloggers, including myself, is how do we move on after this HCU or the Google Helpful Content Update? How do we move on in blog therapy? How do we get that therapy for blogging?
So I think the first thing is accepting that this thing happened, this major update happened, and it's good that you talk about it, with your fellow blogger communities, your spouse, whoever you deal with on a day-to-day basis, and that's number one. And two, I think it's important to know that it's like never, even let's say tomorrow, all the traffic comes back to where it was. Just know that you can never trust any platform, not just Google or whatever, any platform, because they use you for the content and use them for the traffic, and it's even exchanged to a certain degree. But just know that going forward, it's a lesson learned. And I think with a lot of bloggers, for the last 10, 15 years, like other platforms has come and gone, like Facebook, it used to be the thing for traffic, and that went away. Pinterest, it was the thing for traffic, and then it went away. It kind of came back, sort of. But Google was the reliable source, and I think a lot of bloggers, even in past Google updates, at least we knew that Google's asking for A, B, and C, and as long as I do A, B, and C, I'm okay. But with the HCU update, they say A, B, and C, but it's kind of not true, and things are all over the place. So I think going forward, you just have to accept it, and just figure out, okay, I have all these skills. What problem can I solve? And then reach out to your network, or reach out to your audience, and take it from there.
And I remember you were telling me about when you were saying the previous updates, like there was A, B, C, and D, but you think with this one's more so like a Google thing. That they're trying, that it's just within company. It doesn't have anything to do with us. We just are the byproducts. We are I don't know the saying where you just happen to get scooped up in it, and
basically you're collateral damage.
Yes, that's what I was trying to think.
You're collateral damage, unfortunately. And really, search in general is changing, because with AI, with all these LLMs, large language models, they'll be able to give people the answer that they're looking for quickly. Your tools like a Gemini, which is the Google a competitor to ChatGPT, your Perplexity, AI, and all these other tools that help people get the answer they're looking for faster. It's going to be much harder to get people to actually go to your website and look for a particular answer. And that's why brand awareness is so important, because you want people to, when people think about theme parks, you want them to type in a theme park hipster or whatever your brand is, and then go and find you and learn about you. Go in social media and type in your company name, or go to YouTube and find you and consume content that way. Instead of people looking for vacations and they happen to find your article, and then they go through the article and get the answer. You want people to think about is whatever you're the expert in. When people think about that thing, you want your brand to be on their mind.
Yeah. So in that same vein, now is the time where the same kind of energy we would put in our blog posts, we have to really put it in the form of our favorite social media platform, as far as like the awareness. I think if you want quick brand awareness, I would say spend some time going all in on TikTok, especially if you are a food blogger. Get out there, show those recipes, and just always have the link in your bio. Like, hey, you want the recipe link? Go to my bio. And then you can set up one of those, I know, like Linktree, where you can list out things. And so you can make sure that Linktree has the last few recipes you may have done on TikTok. So you can just start driving that traffic back to your website. And also I would do YouTube. YouTube takes a lot of work, but that's where you're going to get a lot of the brand awareness, the people who are become like your loyal people, your day ones. It is a grind, just like blogging, but if you stick with it for like 1 or 2 years, and I know that sounds like a lot disheartening, it can be disheartening, but it's just what we have to do in this age of blogging. And I always tell my husband, like, you don't want to be a Kmart. And no offense to any Kmart workers, my dad worked there, but I saw how they were thriving in the 80s and then how they couldn't keep up. So you don't want to be that blogger who just doesn't want to accept change. It's changing. Blogging is changing. It's not going to go anywhere, but our perspective of blogging is what's going to have to change if you want your business to survive. Now, if you just want to keep writing just for fun and just as a hobby, like my husband said, then that's cool. But if you're trying to really take care of your family, change your legacy, then you're going to have to adjust with the times.
I concur. I agree. I concur.
All right, so the next question is, how do you use AI as an online business owner? Because we want you to look at yourself as an online business owner, as a blogger. So how do you use it in today's world?
Well, first you have to accept that AI is not a competitor per se, but it's a helpmate, it's an assistant, right? It's there to help you be more productive, save time, and make more money. So is the first thing I would use AI for is to ideate, right?
Yes.
Especially in the times where you have a lot of things on your mind and you don't know how to really organize them, or you don't know how to ask the right questions to get the right answer to move forward. So the best way is I would use AI is really to ideate, especially in the stage that you're in. Is I would go to the ChatGPT, Bramework, or wherever language model or that I'm using, and ask it, hey, as I've been doing this for X amount of years, is I have these skill sets, and I want to help these type of people. To give me 10 to 15 ideas of what I should do going forward, and then take that and just have a conversation with the AI model, and at least it won't judge you like a person would. They kind of take that and use the AI to help guide you, and it'll help ask you questions that you probably never thought of, and so that's what I would use AI initially at this point in time.
So it's like taking AI and using it to help you automate as much of your business as a blogger as possible.
Yeah. So first I would use it to ideate, to come up with ideas, and then once I find an idea that I like and that I want to pursue, then I would use the AI to help automate. So that way I can spend more time on the business and less time in the business.
What about day-to-day things? Because yes, it's cool, we're ideating, get new things, but what about, in order for us to ideate and get new things, we got to make sure like our day-to-day stuff is being taken care of while we're in ideation moment.
So, well, I guess so as a blogger, one thing that's going to change is your day-to-day habits are going to change, right? So see, before your day-to-day was writing blog posts and editing blog posts. So going forward, is your day-to-day maybe scheduling content on all social media platforms. So let's say you want to use the AI to create content for all your social media platforms. So you tell it, or you give the AI your URL or that blog post, and tell the AI, hey, create good copy for my for my LinkedIn, my Facebook, or my YouTube community. And then you can use an automation tool, which is another type of AI tool. You can tell it to schedule that for you. So meaning that at that point, like, you may not need a social media manager, or like you may need one to review the stuff, but not really to come up with the content. Or even your email series. So for example, you can tell the AI, hey, take all my blog posts and write an engaging copy that I could use to shut out my email list, and you have your email person go review that and then schedule that out.
So are you leaking some Bramework features that are coming in the future? Are we officially leaking this announcement to our bloggers?
Yeah. So basically, like
he said he didn't want to leak it, so I'm surprised that he's telling you guys.
So basically, like, this is things that we're thinking about creating to help bloggers change from being just bloggers to online business owners.
Yes.
So what tools will help you get your day-to-day, cut your costs, cut your overhead, and focus on your business better? And since we're preaching that you need to be on all platforms and your brand needs to be everywhere, now of course, like, at a platform that you get the most engagement, that your audience is where you need to focus on the most, but you need to have some kind of presence on all platforms. We want our platform to be able to facilitate that and help you be able to create content of some form for each platform. So if you guys think that's a good idea,
just say, great idea, I want it in the comment section below.
Yeah, the comment section, you send me an email.
Yeah.
Or find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So basically, I guess what you're saying is that when you see the AI world happening is to figure out how to use it to automate your day-to-day tasks that you no longer need to spend time on. So those days of us getting our blog posts together and trying to get all our social media copies so that we can send somebody to a link, now we have that feature coming where you can just put in your URL and it goes through every blog post you've ever written, and it tells you, okay, this is the copy for each social media channel that you want, the hashtags to use. And you can do it for email, because email is a great thing to help you drive your own traffic that you control. And if you're building your email list to 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 people, and you're able to send great email copy each day to different people in categories every day, imagine you taking back that power. And now instead of that couple of thousand of people coming from Google, now it comes directly from you. And we'll have the feature to help you just have the copy for your email, and then it just uploads to your email provider in the future. So I think that's a great way of thinking about using AI, just instead of just thinking it only as writing your blog post, but how can it help me with my business every day? And with that YouTube channel, using AI to help you edit your videos, tell it what you need to do. There are apps out there that'll help you create short form video from your long form.
Yeah.
So it's like everything is here to your disposal. It's just figuring out how to take away all the daily tasks that you would use that would take up so much time, using AI to incorporate it into your business.
Yep. Even like, you have an AI to be able to manage your emails, where the AI can organize the emails that are important. Mm-hmm. It can automatically reply and keep the email in draft, so you can go back and review the AI's response.
Yes.
And then you send the email out.
That's great.
And going back to what you said, as far as your email list, I think it's very important, for bloggers to understand that your email list is gold. Is imagine if you had like an email list of 10,000 subscribers, and you can get each subscriber to pay you $1 a month,
yeah,
or even half of that. So
yeah,
you've been making $5,000 a month just from your email subscribers. As long as you can find something that they need, something that they need help with, and you can provide a product or service to fulfill that. Like you have like the revenue opportunities there. You just got to get out your own way and kind of just change your way of thinking.
I can testify to that. I am in my own way because I like the old way better. All right, let's go to the next question. So the next question is, what mistakes should I or other bloggers avoid while we're making this transition to just the world of AI and the new world of blogging?
I think the first mistake that bloggers should avoid is not to keep doing the same thing you've been doing now that it's not creating the result. Mm-hmm. Meaning, creating new content. And I know that you want to create new content, and I know that you want to update old content, and that's fine. But you focus on updating old content that you're going to use to get new traffic, or if you have old content that you're going to promote a lot to your email list, or you're going to promote a lot through social media, or you're going to create a video on and then promote it. But just don't do things just to do it. And I know like a lot of bloggers do it to kind of cope and feel like they're doing what they're doing, but
like they're making progress.
You're making progress, but you're really not. It's all you're doing is wasting time, and the time that you be doing that, take that time to think. Or if you don't, if it's hard for you to think, just use like a chat bot, like all these chat bots out there, and just ask them questions, and they'll help you come up with better ideas.
But ask them what kind of questions would I be asking the chatbot?
As I would ask it, hey, this is what I've been doing for the last 10 years. This is the current situation I'm in. It's my blog. It's about eating turkeys on Thanksgiving, and I lost 80% of my traffic. And I was making X amount. It's what can I do besides blogging to make the money I was making before, and let the AI spit out ideas. And then
I think that's a good idea. And I know, like, when it comes to updating blog posts, for me, I know we had this conversation, but at this point, I have to. It might be a form of coping, but also for me, because my content is just outdated. So when someone is coming into my brand, I don't want them to find me or look and just see a bunch of outdated content, because being in the theme park industry, things are changing. So I update for the reader ability, for their usability, and no longer for Google. I'm just updating. So if you find that article, especially on one of my email series, that is up-to-date content. But it's hard to update at a regular pace so that I can think about monetization structures. Whereas I'll update content all day, which doesn't make money at this time. But it's hard. And that's not saying it's not going to make money. It's not making money at this time. It's because I'm not doing the business strategy part that I'm supposed to do, as far as like maintaining my email list, making sure I'm growing it, placing ads on certain blog posts that leads to people signing up for my email list or purchasing an affiliate product or purchasing one of my products. I'm not doing that kind of stuff because I'm getting through the motions of dealing with the update. But I am going to get better, We call this money march, meaning do not focus on updating blog posts. Make blog posts 20% of what I'm doing this month, and the other 80% is how to turn around the revenue for the blog business.
Yep. And I guess the second mistake I would avoid is don't assume. Like, don't assume, and that assume meaning like don't assume Google's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And if it does come back, doesn't assume it's gonna stay where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Two, as you transition from into this, you're offering products and services, the way of thinking, don't assume that people want what you want.
Yeah.
So meaning that if you have an idea to solve people's problem, you need to talk to people. Like, get on the phone, reach out to your email list. Be like, hey, I have an idea to solve this problem that like a lot of you said that you're having. I would love to get on a phone call with you just to ask you more information about it. Or do the same thing in your Facebook group or your LinkedIn group or whatnot. And two, just because somebody say that they have a problem, it doesn't necessarily mean that the problem is worth them paying for. Mm-hmm. And by that I mean, if I wake up in the morning and I have a headache, if my headache, your threshold is at a level of 2, from 1 to 10, I'm not gonna go out and find me a headache pill. Mm-hmm. But if it's 8 or 9, then I'll be very, very adamant about finding a headache pill. So you need to find a problem that people want solved right now. Validate your idea to save you time, because the first idea may not be the idea to get you back to where you were, and it may be the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th ideas. You want to go through your ideas as quickly as possible to validate them. Are they worth pursuing? And then move on to the next until you find the right one.
Absolutely. This next question is, what should I do in the meantime for money? Because we got to eat, we got to live, we got to take care of bills.
So the first thing I would do is, if you've been blogging for a decade, you're a pro blogger, and I would assume that if you have a following, if you have a Facebook group, if you have an email list, I would reach out to figure out what problem do they have that you can solve quickly. And by quickly, I don't mean like a product. I mean like what service can you provide? Can you do coaching calls to help people do something? Can you get on a call with somebody before they go to Disney and give them all the tips?
Create an itinerary personalized for them.
Yeah, can you do that?
Yeah. And if you're a food blogger, you can create customized recipes for family based on whatever kind of season they're in. So if they're in a season of health and they're trying to figure out easy, quick meals that they can create for that particular family that may have some type of allergens or anything, you can sell those to people. You got your email list, you got the people coming to your website. That could be quick things. And because you are very passionate about your particular subject matter, whipping up those recipes, you may have a catalog that's already organized. You kind of just make them in a nice format and then send to the person for a small fee. It might be more tedious now, but of course we have AI to help us. But this is the ways to kind of get over the hump so that you can calmly ideate without ideating about new things in the future with stress.
Yeah, and also, you can get out of what you've been doing and do some freelance work. You're a blogger and you like to write, so maybe reach out to your network or different publications and do some freelance work or do some VA work. You're not only doing that to make more money, but you're kind of putting yourself out there to see what other problems can I solve, and you're getting out of your bubble and out of your comfort zone to see, okay, because there's a lot of problems out there, and you have to ask yourself, do I want to help people solve their problem, or is it all about me? If it's just about you, it's gonna kind of narrow your options and problems you can solve. But if you're just out there trying to help people and solve problems, you'll find a lot of problems that'll be solved.
I think that's a great tip. But going forward, on a more serious note, what should the mindset of bloggers be after the whole helpful content update? Like, what should we be doing to kind of just help with our mental health and just being motivated to keep going?
First, you gotta understand that it's not you. Like, you set a goal and you may have achieved it and lost part of your revenue, but it's not about you. It's unfortunately that you're just collateral damage, unfortunately. But you have the skill set, and they can't take that away from you. So you just gotta figure out a way to use that same work ethic to just continually be better. You're great. You built a successful business before, and you can build it again. At this time, you know what to look for, and if you were making $10,000 a month with all the skills and knowledge that you've acquired, you'll be making $100,000 a month easily. I can't say be confident, because confidence is actually built in time, but you're there, you have the knowledge, you're strong. Talk through it. Stop working just to work, but stop and take time to ask questions. Ask yourself questions. Ask people questions. Talk to people. Because remember, you're in a point where before you were just creating content for people just to go through, but now your product and service is going to solve somebody's problem personally. And that's why brand awareness is going to be so important. Go watch the Blogging Academy and watch the first few modules that helps you understand the mindset of a blogger, the mindset of a business owner, because you need that to get you to the day-to-day of business, because you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. It's just be able to balance that out.
And this is a heart-to-heart from one blogger to another. Like Andy said, you are great. We have been in our grieving period since September, probably peaking around the holidays. But now it's time for you to come out of that dark place, get back on that platform, start doing your thing. You got it. You got the skills. Now it's figuring out with your skills, how can you grow this business into something that no one can ignore, not even Google. This is your time, and we are here for you. Trust me, I know how you feel. I see the messages, the devastation. Like, I know you're devastated, but you got this, and we're here to help you. Always email us. We will respond to you and let us know the things that you're thinking about. If you just need someone to talk to vent, we're here. You can email us, join our Bramework Facebook group. We want you to win, and that's why we're here, and that's why we want you to just keep blogging, okay? And there you have it.